And your career was a success because you kept Will Smith's wife's name out your mouth.
Yeah. No, I said that's the blueprint.
That's
the blueprint.
for doing it.
I was sickened. I was sickened by the standing ovation. I felt like Hollywood is just spineless, en masse.
It was just really, really hard. And they would have to. There was one time when I was supposed to be running down some steps.
Oh my God! You won't believe the tea Eddie Murphy just spilled. He's dropping some serious bombshells about Will Smith and Jim Carrey, and trust me, it's not what anyone expected. Like, at all.
So I opened the door to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne having with Will. Will was bent over on the couch, and Dwayne was standing up.
Listen up, because this isn't just about Jim's crazy facial expressions or his wild comedy stunts. No, no, no. Eddie says there's something way deeper and more personal going on here, and I'm literally shook.
Hollywood is just spineless, en masse. And it really felt like, oh, this is a really clear indication that we're not the cool club anymore.
Okay, so here's the real tea. Eddie Murphy just blew the lid off how Hollywood's been playing dirty with black actors for years. Can you believe they've been deliberately keeping these talented stars apart? Like, instead of building each other up, they're being forced into this weird competition. Eddie didn't hold back one bit, honey. He straight up exposed all the shady dealings happening behind those fancy Hollywood curtains. And get this, it's not just affecting the current stars, but this toxic mess is spreading to the next generation too. I mean, how messed up is that?
They Ron, they the ones going, I ain't say I mean, I ain't in it. Huh? What sucks? Reaganomics sucks? Or tell us something we don't know.
Now, hold on to your seats because my inside sources in Hollywood are spilling all the tea about Will and Jim's drama. This tension has been simmering forever, darling. And it's not just because they don't vibe. Oh no, it goes so much deeper. Word on the street is that Will absolutely cannot handle Jim's unpredictable nature. Like, while everyone else is playing it safe in their little Hollywood bubble, Jim's out there just not giving a single care. He's calling out industry hypocrites, throwing shade at award shows, basically keeping everyone on their toes.
Talk show hosts, people on television, people in sitcoms have been hired by the government to throw you off the track.
But wait, it gets even juicier. Apparently, what really got under Will's skin was when Jim totally dragged him for that infamous Oscar slap. Remember when Jim went off about how ridiculous it was that Will got a standing ovation after slapping Chris Rock? He basically said Hollywood had lost its moral compass, and honey, Will was not having it. Sources say Will felt totally betrayed, especially since he thought they were cool before all this drama went down.
I was sickened. I was sickened by the standing ovation. I felt like Hollywood is just spineless, en masse.
And here's where the tea gets scalding hot. There's this juicy little rumor floating around that back in the 90s, Jim actually snatched a role right from under Will's nose. And not just any role. Jim absolutely killed the audition, and Will was apparently fuming. Inside sources say he's been low-key bitter ever since, always seeing Jim as this rival who effortlessly steals his thunder.
And depression is your body saying, I don't want to be this character anymore. I don't want to hold up this avatar that you've created.
But here's the real gag. Eddie spilled that what actually terrifies Will isn't just Jim's talent, it's how fearless he is. Like, Jim literally says and does whatever he wants, and that's apparently Will's worst nightmare. Why? Because Will spent years carefully crafting this perfect image, and Jim's the type who could just blow it all up. Word is, Will's convinced that if Jim ever decided to expose certain Hollywood secrets, oh my God, careers would literally crumble.
For years now, talk show hosts, people on television, people in sitcoms have been hired by the government to throw you off the track, to distract you, to make you laugh and stuff like that, make you happy and docile.
The drama just keeps getting deeper. Jim's been out here calling Hollywood spineless and saying they've lost their edge. But here's the tea. Apparently, Jim thinks Will's rise to fame might not be all talent and hard work, if you know what I mean. And get this, he believes that's exactly why Will's still got protection in the industry. Jim thinks if it wasn't for these mysterious protectors, Will should have been kicked out of the Oscars right after that slap.
You do not have the right to walk up on stage and smack somebody in the face because they said words.
When King brought up how Chris Rock didn't press charges, Jim wasn't buying it. He basically hinted that Chris stayed quiet not because he wanted to, but because he had to. Like, there's definitely more to this story.
He doesn't want the hassle. I'd announced this morning that I was suing Will for $200 million because that video is going to be there forever. It's going to be ubiquitous.
And honey, everyone's wondering the same thing. What kind of power does Will Smith actually have in Hollywood? Because let's be real, why didn't Chris file that lawsuit? People are whispering that Will's got some serious connections that let him do whatever he wants. And the rumors about how he got that power, let's just say there are some wild accusations about certain rituals and activities that would make your jaw drop. Even Jaguar Wright has been speaking out about this.
They're both by do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship.
And trust me, this isn't just Jaguar Wright running her mouth. Will's former assistant and friend BW came forward with even more shocking details that'll make your head spin.
Saw that I walked in on.
Who'd you walk in on?
Him and Dwayne Martin.
Okay.
Hollywood is the hurry up and wait game.
Oh my goodness, and now everything's making sense about why Jada might have stepped back. In case you've been living under a rock, Jada just dropped a massive bombshell in her NBC News interview about her marriage to Will. She spilled that they've actually been living separately since 2016. Like, what? And get this, it all started getting messy around the time of that infamous Oscar drama. Remember when Chris Rock absolutely roasted Jada during his monologue? Apparently, she had asked him to step down from hosting because Will didn't get nominated for his role in Concussion. The audacity, right?
Jada's mad her man, Will, was not nominated. Concussion, I get it. Tell the truth, I get it. You get mad, she said it's not fair.
So here's the tea. Jada and Will boycotted the ceremony, along with basically everyone who was anyone because of that whole Oscars so white controversy. But Chris? Oh honey, he wasn't having any of it. He went ahead and hosted anyway, throwing the shadiest shade at Jada, saying her boycotting the Oscars was like him boycotting Rihanna's panties because he wasn't invited. And then he went for Will's wallet, bringing up that $220 million Wild Wild West paycheck. But wait, because this story takes the wildest turn. Jada later revealed that she and Chris actually had a heart-to-heart phone call and sorted everything out. She was like, I totally get it now. Chris was under so much pressure. She even admitted she should have checked on him and been more understanding. They both apologized, and Jada thought everything was cool between them until 2022 happened. OMG, and this is where it gets crazy. Jada claims Chris even apologized after the whole 2022 slap incident, like he got slapped and he apologized? Something's not adding up here, and people are convinced it's all because of Will's mysterious Hollywood power moves.
Was that in 2016, you and Will decided that you were going to live completely separate lives. Yes. It was...
And now, hold on to your wigs because Jada just dropped another bomb in her interview with Hoda Kotb. She straight up admitted that she and Will have been living completely separate lives since 2016. Like, they got married in '97, and we all knew they had their ups and downs. But this is next level.
Yeah.
And we decided...
I was done with your...
Kick me to the curb.
I was done with you.
I mean, having an unconventional marriage is one thing, but when rumors start flying about your husband being involved in secret relationships, Chile, that's a whole different story. And Miss Jada is finally ready to speak her truth.
It was not a divorce on paper,
right,
but it was a divorce. So from the year 2016, which is 7 years ago now.
Yes.
Let's rewind for a second to where all this drama possibly started. 6 degrees of separation. Will played this totally charming con artist, but here's the tea. There was supposed to be this kissing scene between him and Anthony Michael Hall that mysteriously got cut. And honey, the rumors that started flying? People were wondering if Will was trying to avoid that kiss for personal reasons, if you know what I mean.
That Will Smith is and that they do this, and that.
But wait, because in 2020, Will completely switched up his story. After years of saying he didn't fully commit to the role, he suddenly claimed he went full method actor for 6 degrees. Like, make it make sense.
You train your mind through blocking out Will and only living as the character.
And just when you thought this tea couldn't get any hotter, Tisha Campbell enters the chat. She took to Instagram dropping hints about Will Smith allegedly having something going on with her ex-husband, Dwayne Martin. She posted this super cryptic message about how the truth always comes out, no matter how many lies someone tells. And when her followers started connecting the dots, she said, and I quote, "They will lie till the end." But here's the gag. She typed Will in all caps. Like, could she be any more obvious? And honey, that's not all. YouTuber Trisha Paytas jumped into the drama with some seriously wild accusations about Will. She went off saying, "How about worry about your daughter being in bed at 13 with her 20-year-old boyfriend? How about worry about your cheating husband one of my male dancers when they didn't want to? Like, what?
How about worry about your cheating husband my male dancers, when they didn't want to? How about talk about that?"
Now, this is where things get really interesting. Apparently, Will might have been following in the footsteps of the legendary Quincy Jones. For those who don't know, Quincy is this mega-talented producer who's worked with everybody from Frank Sinatra to Michael Jackson. But, darling, there have been whispers about his preferences for years, and now some tea is finally spilling.
My first musical memories were I wanted to be a gangster until I was 11, coming from Chicago in the 30s.
The plot thickens because recent revelations suggest Quincy Jones might not be exactly who we thought he was. There are shocking claims that he's been influencing the preferences of major stars, including Will Smith and Tupac. And speaking of Tupac, do you remember that absolutely jaw-dropping interview he did?
Yeah, I think them rumors about Quincy Jones and all that crazy stuff about Pop was definitely rumors.
Girl, in that interview, Tupac supposedly spilled some serious tea about Quincy making some inappropriate suggestions, if you catch my drift. But here's the weird part. That interview, it completely vanished from the internet. Like, poof, gone. And when people asked Napoleon, who was supposedly super close to Tupac, about it, he shut down all the rumors faster than you can say conspiracy.
Yeah, I think them rumors about Quincy Jones and all that crazy stuff about Pop was definitely rumors. Pac was about to marry his daughter.
But wait, because this tea just keeps getting hotter. There are rumors flying around about Jada and Will hosting some very interesting gatherings at their house, with lots of younger men attending. Jaguar Wright came forward saying she's personally seen young men leaving their house looking absolutely shook. And while some people think Will kissing his son Jaden on the cheek is just normal dad stuff, others are raising their eyebrows because, honey, it's not just the cheek anymore. There have been pictures of Will kissing Jaden on the lips. Some fans are like, "Oh, sweet daddy-son love." But others are getting major weird vibes.
That we saw on Red Table Talk, oh, that was G. That was G-rated. That was G-rated shit.
What I will say that I do know about the Smiths.
The public's reaction to Will's affectionate behavior with Jaden has gotten so intense. People are saying it's making Jaden uncomfortable, but Will keeps denying any wrongdoing. One person wrote, "That's disgusting. No one kisses their kids on the mouth like that, especially when they're teenagers." And another one didn't hold back, calling it straight up inappropriate.
His corny, overbooked was not built to be able to maintain the swag of a Baltimore.
That is true.
Now, hold on to your seats because this gets even wilder. It looks like Will Smith's unusual way of showing affection to Jaden might have some connection to, you guessed it, Quincy Jones. This legendary producer has seen it all in Hollywood, and Chile, he is not afraid to spill the tea. In this absolutely shocking interview with Vulture, Quincy just started naming names. He revealed that icons like James Baldwin, Richard Pryor, and Marvin Gaye were all queer. And when it came to Marlon Brando, honey, he said that man would, well, let's just say he was very open-minded about everything and everyone.
He was asked by Quincy Jones when Tupac said no, that's when Tupac was marked for death. Why? Because Tupac was engaged to Quincy Jones's daughter.
But the tea gets even hotter. The late actress Alexis Arquette dropped this massive bombshell about why Will's first marriage to Sherry Zampino really ended. She claimed, and I quote, "When Jada comes out as gay and her beard husband admits his first marriage ended when she walked into him servicing his sugar daddy, Benny Medina, then I will listen to them, girl!" And in the comments, she added that the first wife was paid off silent. Now, what's super interesting is how everyone reacted. Jada, who's usually quick to speak up about everything, especially that Oscar boycott, complete silence. Will didn't say a word. But Cherie, oh honey, she came out swinging. She went after Alexis, calling her spiteful and rushed, insisting Will isn't and never was queer. But some fans thought she was protesting just a little too much.
Not only is it out of line, it's absolutely not true. And I'm offended and I'm hurt.
People couldn't help but notice how intense Cherie's response was. Like, instead of just brushing it off as ridiculous, she went all in, making some wonder if Alexis might have hit a nerve. And the rumors about Jada's preferences? Chile, that's a whole other story. Plus, let's talk about Will's super close friendship with Dwayne. People are calling it a bromance, but some think there might be more to it.
Yo, am I the only one that saw this? Watch Will. Titty grab. Then he grabs his Will is Carlton on television. Titty grab again, then the face, and now he's gonna grab his titty.
And speaking of close relationships, we need to talk about Diddy. Just like Will, he's been dealing with his own rumors for years. There's all this buzz about this special circle in his entourage where he supposedly introduces young musicians to some interesting practices. I mean, the whole thing is just unsettling. Now, let's be clear. Nobody's confirmed anything about Will Smith's involvement with any of these people. But honey, where there's smoke, there's usually fire. And remember what Jim Carrey said about that Oscar slap? He thinks it came from Will's inner frustration. I wish him the best. I have nothing against Will Smith. He's done great things, but that was not a good moment. It cast a shadow over everyone's shining moment. It was selfish. And the internet is going wild with theories. One person wrote, "People assume celebrity wives don't know their husbands are gay and on the DL, but usually the wife knows and might be gay herself. It's all business, honey. Look at Reynolds Lively, Wade Union, Smith Pinkett, Cruz Holmes, Urban Kidman, Jay-Z Beyonce." Another one spilled, "It all makes sense now. If their marriage has been over for 10 to 15 years, him being gay might be why. And Jada's protecting that bag, so she's not saying anything directly, but she's dropping hints because she wants to secure her future." And that's all the tea for today. Until next time, stay messy and keep spilling that tea. Goodbye. Tea. Goodbye. Tea.
Thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp.
Yeah,
Flavor
that's what it
Camp.
was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's.